letting the girls deal with that.
Genius.
Sorry, I got your text. I'm gonna go on Friday with Waters.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you had a water complaint. I just wanted to give you,
I
I
know,
wanted to make you feel special a little bit.
but where are you guys sleeping?
I got my room. Pat's got a room for me.
Where's Scott sleeping?
No idea. He does not know.
It's Michael, Jesus Christ.
So
Michael, not Jesus Christ. Sorry.
save him a bunk when you get there.
All right, I guess we should,
Forgot you had a water complaint.
I guess we should record to this thing too.
I got my room.
Record to the clock. I guess you can hear. You?
Does this thing work? Are we live?
I guess we should record to this thing.
Always an interesting beginning to our shows. Bye, Michael.
Bye. Wow,
Nice exit. 10 out of 10.
you're doing the frog.
Yep.
Hello,
Hello,
my
my lady.
hello,
Hello, my
my
darling. Hello, my ragtime guy.
I'm nuts. I'm not happy.
I love that cartoon.
All right.
Rip it.
Woo, you ready?
I'm ready.
In 5. I'm just kidding. We'll be on the air. How you doing? My name is Chris Bologna,
I'm secondhand Steve.
and welcome to Man's Journey. Thanks for joining us. I look really white in this bright light.
You do. Your summer tan is coming.
You want to turn it down?
No, well, let me do that. Tell me when.
Yeah. My lighting guy's here, Steven. Oh, that's much better.
All right.
Yeah, now I don't look like I've been impaled by the sun.
Oh, look, you're less pasty.
Hi, Sebby.
Hi, Sebs.
Hi, Veronica. All right, so we are here in cold Santa Clarita, California. The winds are whipping. We had a little bit of rain yesterday.
North of Los Angeles, if you don't know where that's at.
Magic Mountain, if you've ever been up here. And it's let's see, forecast is saying we have a wind advisory right now. Nice. It's gonna be 60s tomorrow, rain Wednesday, Thursday. In the 50s.
If you want to know the weather in your area, look out the window.
That's right. Let's see. I'm just clearing all my stuff off my desktop. There's too much Zelensky and Trump drama. I can't look at it anymore.
Shut it down.
I'm Xing everything off. I hate Apple News. Okay, that good?
No.
Just do this. Aha.
So if you're joining us, you're probably a caregiver. You're probably a rare giver. You're probably working for a family or maybe your own family, where you're taking care of an individual that needs your help because they cannot care for themselves.
Yeah.
And every week we try to come with tips and hints and ideas,
Tricks.
that might make your journey a little more better. Is that a good sentence structure?
Because there's nothing peaceful about this job. I was going to say add some peace, maybe just give you some insight on how to, I guess, navigate this whole caregiving process.
Especially if you're new and you're nervous and
Yeah.
actually, I talked to someone who's going through training right now to be a caregiver.
Who's that?
Jake.
Who's Jake?
He's an actor.
From State Farm?
No, he doesn't want to be a waiter anymore.
Hmm.
So he wants to get into something, and he did caregiving. And he was just about to quit the training because he's going, I can't, it's too much. I don't think I can do it.
This?
The training, he hasn't even, had a client or met someone yet.
I didn't know there was training for this job.
So different companies have
Wow.
like a training course. But the truth is, to be a caregiver, most of them, all you need is first aid and CPR. And then you're able to work with someone. Come on, Sophie's. There you go.
This is our special guest tonight, Sophia.
That's how you can tell it's cold, because she got her sweater on with a hoodie.
One of the best caregivers
Great.
ever.
The greatest.
Yeah.
No, yes, you are. Yes, you are.
We love this dog. Yeah, I guess that makes sense if you're going to be working for a company that actually sells that as a service, like a
I'm sure they probably do the training because of their liability. And this way, if someone screws up, they can go, oh, but we sent them to training or.
I want to hear what is so hard that he's having a hard time. Can you tell?
The studying,
Studying.
yeah,
He has to learn books.
he's got to watch videos at home and it's driving him crazy.
No way.
Yeah, so I get the call, it's too much, I can't do it.
How hard is
And I
it?
talk him off the ledge. Is that for Sophie? Oh, it's for me. It's all salts.
You can have some self-salt, but
And so I haven't heard from him, so I think he's continuing and keep you posted on that.
talk to him off the ledge. I wonder what the name of the company was. I've had a few caregiving companies in my day. Some of them just absolutely suck. And some of them are great.
We live in California, and the two best states for caregivers and in-home supportive services, us and Massachusetts. They seem to have the most benefits, they have the most programs, the most resources. So if you live in one of these two states, take advantage of everything they're offering. It's not just gonna show up on your desktop one day, you have to find out for yourself. We're also here to help you with that, we can guide you to places with the resources maybe you never even heard about. We're here to help, so let us know if you're watching what we can do.
You know, what we should recap is a great rare disease day last week, February 28th. Rare Disease Day is the last day of February, and there was a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on. I mean, as you probably saw, I was having a fundraiser, and many people were having fundraisers, and a lot of people were in Boston. Some of them went to Capitol Hill, in I don't even, is it the District of Columbia? Where the White House is?
So it's a chance for the country and the people to
Where's
recognize
the White House?
Washington DC.
Washington DC, the District of Columbia, I was correct.
Right, it's not America.
Right, so I mean, there
It's
was,
in America, but
there was a lot of things that people were saying that Rare Disease Day wasn't gonna happen on Capitol Hill, and this is where people go and, talk to the congressman
be heard.
and the Senate, and they basically be heard, and they want more money, more funding, more money, more, our kids are dying, the whole spiel. And
And it only works if you come together in mass. One individual can't do anything.
so it did happen, but
Maybe.
Boston was huge. The reason why I say Boston, because a lot of my associates and friends actually were up there speaking. One of them, let's see, I'm just scrolling through my feed. Of course, the lovely Effie Parks was at the Broad Institute of
If
MIT.
you haven't been to Effie's page, go there. Check her out. She's good people.
At the Broad Institute, MIT and Harvard, she spoke, and this is just one attribute of my life. That's a mom dealing with rare disease who's pushing her agenda to get more research done for her son's disease.
And her agenda is to take care of people with that particular disease and people with other diseases. Her agenda is not just for herself.
Right.
And that's what this movement needs.
Yeah. And so she's not alone. There was a lot of great speakers up there. But then right after that, she got on a plane and went down to San Diego and got together with some other rare disease people down there. So that to me is like seriously some serious advocacy.
It's a community, and if you're a part of it now, you can do the bare minimum and just take care of business, with your client. Or you can maybe go a little bit further and see what others like yourself are doing with what they have and how they do it.
Yeah.
And you might find it very helpful.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of great stuff going around. Effie's obviously just one of them. I mean, you had many people getting together. My organization, the BDSRA, which is the Batten Disease Support and Resource Association, they were doing a Panda Express. We actually got out of the radio and did a little copy for them for inside Los Angeles. But phenomenal. I mean, it always is pretty incredible how many people just still don't know what Rare Disease Day is. But the people that are in it, like Steve said, it's a huge community. It's a huge thing for people to come together and
And what are the statistics now? 1 out of 20 births has some type of autism or on the spectrum.
oh,
Uh, the rate of diseases in children has gone up. Everything has gone up.
I don't know about what it is. I mean, the stats are staggering because they keep increasing every year.
Yeah.
Uh,
It has momentum and it's not going away. That something needs to change.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna change on that, but hopefully. Maybe some more advocacy, maybe some more moms and dads, going and marching.
Speaking their truth and letting the word out of
It's
what it takes.
it's a huge deal for a lot of parents to get that opportunity to be heard. We saw a lot of that during COVID. We saw a lot of that during schools during COVID. We saw a lot of people advocating for a lot of different things. And in this space, I think that it doesn't have as many eyeballs as I think it should.
It's here's what I find fascinating. Just if you didn't have anyone in your family with a rare disease, life's hard enough. Think about it, just to keep a roof over and some money in your pocket and gas money. And then you add a rare disease to it. And for sometimes it's right at birth, for sometimes they find out later. And to get hit with that,
Yeah.
it's too much.
It is too much. It is too much. What else? Crystal, our boss, was out there at Boston.
Hi, Crystal.
She was a part of that whole deal in Boston too, and speaking and sharing the rare givers journey map, which has really been taking off. And it's just a cool little map about things that are happening in this life as a rare giver, from the beginning all the way through this journey. And it deals with a lot of, great topics. And it's just one simple thing where you get to just look at this map and kind of go, oh yeah, I did that. I feel that. I do that. And so if you want to get a copy of that, it's on raregivers.global under the resources tab, and you can just download that. And
I got a question for you, Chris.
yes, sir.
What if you have a child with a rare disease and you don't have the money? I mean, you're barely getting by. What is one of the ways you can raise money to help you with your situation and to bring awareness to what you're dealing with and awareness to the disease that the individual has?
What can one do? Oh, well, I mean, there's a lot of different things. Are you talking like in your community, or are you trying to make a splash, like going to like Washington?
Well, let's say you have a child with a rare disease and this individual needs special, a wheelchair, a special bed, a special, these things aren't cheap.
Oh yeah,
And you don't have the money to pay for them.
they're very expensive.
So what is something someone can do
I see.
to make that happen?
Well, for me, as I'm just talking about my personal experience, I didn't have pot to piss in. I had to stay home and take care of Sebastian, and so there was really no income. And when I did finally get some income, they basically didn't like the fact that I was taking too many days off to take care of Sebastian. So there was a lot of need.
When you say you got an income, you got a job, and now your job is going, hey, you're taking off too much to take care of your son who's got a rare disease.
Well, I mean, there was seizures. There
Right.
was, from the fall from the seizure, we needed to go get stitches. There was doctor's appointments for neurology, and it's not like here in Santa Clarita, we had to go to, sometimes San Diego, Los Angeles, Westwood. For all of you who don't know that area, it's a couple hours away. So yeah, I can't go into work, and as many times as the employers I had were understanding, I just couldn't, they couldn't rely on me.
So how can our people raise money to help?
Well, I'm getting to that. So there's a lot of different ways you can find money. You can have a fundraiser to pay for your son or the bills and stuff like that. But that becomes extremely taxing. It's very difficult to keep that momentum.
When you
going.
say fundraiser, I mean, the only thing I'm capable of is like a Kool-Aid stand
That
on the
works.
curb.
That works. We sold cookies in front of Kohl's. We made like $500. And that was somebody else doing that for us. So that's another thing. To avoid the burnout, you can call upon others and have them do the resources for you while you take care of Sebastian.
And they're out there. Those people are out there. And if you haven't met them yet, you will.
Yeah, but those people don't stay because they get burnt out too. So you need like an army, right? So you need an army of friends and family. And then you need those friends of those friends and family because you're just, people get tired. People get tired. So
So you can create a community with a common cause and bring
Good.
people together.
but I want to get to the money part.
Okay, let's do it.
So the money part is this. I applied to the regional center on being a stay-at-home dad to earn a paycheck so I can take care of Sebastian. That program is called the IHSS. So if all you want to do is you want to stay home because obviously we can't go to work. If you qualify, which you will, if you have a situation like ours, you will probably get into the program of in-home supportive services, IHSS.
And they'll base how many hours they give you by the needs of the individual.
And they will come and they'll just do a physical inspection of your house, of your son or daughter, and they will make sure that those hours are checked off, and they'll give you like anywhere between like 50 hours a month in a paycheck, or 100 hours, or maybe 200 hours, depending on if it's full-time care. So I got that, thank God. And that's what allowed me to help. But I didn't stop fundraising. No, because we still had to get people to understand, hey, we need a cure, right? So there was the car washes, there was the bake sales, there was the Kool-Aid stand, there was the high-priced dinners at a local country club, on and on and on. And we're doing runs and 5Ks and walks and all that stuff. And still, we're no closer to a cure, that money has come in handy to help Sebastian and others in the Baton community, the CNL8 Baton community. But we basically, we haven't stopped fundraising. At least we do one a year. And how can people do that? Well, first of all, you want to be legit, because there's going to be some people out there that don't like what you're doing, which is to ask for money to provide some sort of services or doctor visits, or even to pay your rent for these kids, for your own family. So a lot of people have been fraudulent in the past. So current state of affairs, not many people believe that what we are doing is legit. They think we're a fraud, and they rip us off, and they don't want to do it. So the way to get around that is to apply for a 501c3 in your local state. And that makes sure that the state and the federal government know what you're doing.
And that's a tax exempt status or a nonprofit status?
That is a nonprofit tax exempt status, which means that all the money you receive from donations, you don't have to be taxed on, unless you go above $50,000 a year in donations. But then you get all the write-offs that run a foundation. So this foundation, Project Sebastian, is a business, just like Rare Givers is a business.
And it has to be that way. There's no way around it.
I mean, anything that is raising money for rare disease is a foundation or a business model. And so it has to be done correctly, because eventually the government's going to want their cut.
Right. Always.
And if you don't get the cut, then they shut you down, and then they say you can't accept any donations on their websites or on these other public websites that are saying, yeah, this guy's legit.
And having that status gives you the legitimacy. It lets people know that you did everything right. You followed the guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're going to give their money to you, that it'll be used rightly.
Right. Now, the difference between somebody like Project Sebastian and someone like Effie Parks. Effie Parks does not have a 501c3. She basically advocates for CTNNB1. So anything that she does is in direct correlation with that organization. And she brings a lot of eyeballs to them. And she does a lot of great things in the city of Washington for her disabled child. She creates parks for the disabled. She has created fundraisers for the parent organization. So there's us who does all these things that are under the guise of a 501c3, and then there are people like Effie that just promote and get it done and get the word out. So those are two types of entities. Is that what you were asking?
So here's what it comes down to.
Well, did I answer your question?
Oh, you answered more than my question.
Okay.
But you might start off by just needing to have some extra money so you can be the best caregiver you can possibly be. So let's say you start a little fundraiser or something like that. But Chris and Effie, they started small and now they're at a scale where Chris knows how to do this from start to finish. He's made most of the mistakes. I say most because there's always more in the future. And someone like Effie who has the experience, and these people are available to you as a resource to help you.
Oh,
You're not alone. You know, they start off small, and next thing you know, they're advocating, they're creating different ways to help other people with rare disease and issues. And it's amazing what happens.
yeah, it's true. You know, when you have the ability to reach out, I mean, that's exactly how I did. I think Gay Grossman put me in touch with Effie. Gay is another supporter of another rare disease category for her children. And basically, you know, I was looking to connect with other families, and, you know, Gay's an amazing connector. Her husband, Steve Grossman, they just, they're so deep in it in San Diego.
And these are real approachable people.
Yeah. I mean, they are definitely a lot of people that are wanting to help you, wanting to connect with you, and wanting to be, you know,
because everyone started off not knowing what to do. All of a sudden they have a child and their life just goes sideways, and they had to pick up the ball, not knowing anything.
right.
That's why we're trying to have a format here. Whereas if you're in that same position,
Right.
you immediately have resources and someone to talk to.
Not everybody's going to be a caregiver. Not everyone's going to be a parent. But if you wanted to go down that road of fundraising, you could actually write or go to the IRS website, irs.gov, and go under the section titled nonprofit or 501c3, and it just tells you exactly what to do. And it's very simple. You know, I did it. Took me a few hours to get it done, and then I had to wait. You know, it was very simple. For others, it's arduous and it takes forever and they get burnt out or whatever. Call me, I'll walk you through it. So,
And you want to give them our email address?
sure. You can reach us at men@raregivers.global. That's men@raregivers.global. If you have any questions or want to be on the show, or you have any topics you want us to discuss, it's just, you know, two crusty guys, you know, talking about life.
Two crusty guys with a little bit of experience who might be able to help you and make your journey a little bit easier.
I don't know about easier.
More manageable. Maybe point you in the right direction if you're going in the wrong direction. So try us, see what we can do. Maybe we can help. I don't know, but we're willing to try, and that's what we're here for.
Well, it's true. You know, when I first started, I was alone, and there are days I still feel like I'm alone.
No doubt.
But I'm
No
not.
doubt.
I'm not, because I had the ability to get over my fear, pick up that 1,000-pound phone, and start calling these families and saying, "Hey, are you like me? Do you suffer from sleepless nights and endless doctor's appointments? Then we got a tribe for you." And it was just that easy. And, I had fun calling all my rare families on Rare Disease Day. Probably called about a dozen of them. Not all of them answered, but
Right.
some of them did. But it was cool.
And it took a toll on you too, because you things happen and change fast in this community.
Oh my God! Did you see me cry at the end of the day?
Yeah.
It's just what I do. Somebody made a video. Oh, it was it was my friends in CNL6 world. She made a video about the timeline from, you know, getting married and having this child up to the death of her child, and then still having this surviving other daughter, and then having 2 new boys, and it's just so heart-wrenching. And you know, of course, I feel for that family. That's the Gray family, which are amazing parents. And it's just, you know, I don't know what it is. It's like, I don't cry that much, but on Rare Disease Day, you see all the stories in your feed, and you're just going through one through. We're not just talking Batten disease, we're talking all of it, because we're all in this world, especially I mean, if I go to LinkedIn right now, I mean, if you just scroll, there's just tons of stuff. There's Steve Grossman told you about it. And you know, it's just everything in there. Effie Parks, you know, Bio News, Viv Healthcare, Christina Vargas, you know, Nicole Miller, just to name a few.
And these are people that understand what you're going through. These are people that have been there.
You hope so. I mean,
Yeah.
these are pharmaceutical giants and other advocates and stuff like that. But you know, if you here's the thing that I was told: if you want to get something done, give it to a busy person. And that's what I did. I needed help with my charity, and I gave it to a busy person. And they actually just took the time to sit me down and do it with me. Thank you, Kristen Gray. So that's another good friend of mine. So I think we're friends. I think we're pretty good friends.
And it's maybe it starts off as networking and asking questions and getting a hold of people that, you know, are like-minded or in the same kind of, you know, they're everything in their life lines up with everything in yours. And then you end up becoming friends. And this you must not miss. This is something you should definitely do.
Yeah, I mean, you can get together with your kids, and you know, they are,
And they get it if you can't make it, or if you know someone's having a bad day,
yeah,
or they understand like no one, because
it's true, because
it's their life.
You can take your disabled nonverbal kid out with another family that has a disabled nonverbal kid, and you guys understand each other.
I took my stepson Dominic. It didn't happen that often because he would get too loud, like to a Denny's or a restaurant or something, and the stairs. And people don't know, you know, and you can't take it personal.
The stairs?
The stairs as far as the eyes,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, what are you looking at?
The judgment, you know, and
the disgust. Ew. What's that person doing here?
Some people just don't know how to handle themselves.
Oh God.
And you feel it.
Yeah.
And you have to have enough in yourself to be able to just realize I'm here for my kid. We're gonna eat, we're gonna have a good time, and that's it.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter if he's screaming or hooping and hollering or throwing stuff.
And you got these families that get that. They get that. Anytime I see someone you know, on the spectrum or severely ill in the store, I behave a little differently than if I've never been exposed to it, because I understand, and I'm there if for whatever reason they need help.
Yeah.
How can I help? That's how I am now.
I don't know if you know this about me, but I I thought I could keep a job. I actually became a part-time aide in the school district here, a special they call it a SDC3, where I was a special aide to the teacher for special education. And I did that for 3 years, and I had a solid, you know, almost 6 semesters. I went to summer school once with them. And that was amazing because, you know, I worked while my other son was in school. And of course, my other son that's unaffected, Gage, he was in school somewhere. But I did that, and it was like you went to a blended school where you have special ed and then you have gen ed, which is the general population, kind of like prison. And
just like prison,
they mix them, and it's just insane to see the reactions of the normal kids with the kids that are just either, you know, they're in a wheelchair, they're deformed, or they can't talk, or they're just like they mumble, or they just, and I was just amazed at some of these schools that I worked at that didn't have that problem. Everybody got along, but there were some schools that were just god awful how they treated these kids.
Yeah.
And I eventually stuck it out and went into one classroom up here in the Stevenson Ranch and had a great teacher and a great bunch of kids. Of course, some were emotionally disturbed and autistic, and some of them were in wheelchairs, and some of them were nonverbal. So, you know, I had a whole mixed bag, but I didn't care. And I didn't understand why it was just so easy for me to transition, maybe because I was dealing with my son. And it was like people were like, "Oh, that's great, you got a job finally." Yeah. And you got a job in special needs? Don't you need a break? What are you doing? And I said, I've never found a job where I felt more comfortable. It was insane. It's the truth to this day. I highly recommend if you want to be can you open that door? Let your dog out. That's my son, Gage. He's gonna let the dog out. I highly recommend if you really wanna be living in gratitude and you're already a caretaker or your son or your daughter is suffering from rare disease, go work in that field. It will really wake you up as to what is needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, and you'll see that you're not the only one struggling.
yeah,
You'll see that some have it worse, some have it better. And what you have is what you have, and that's what needs to be dealt with.
yeah.
And all it'll do is add on to your knowledge and your experience
Yeah.
and be helpful.
I don't want it, but you have to deal with it. That's another thing. It's like, do you really
Yeah,
want
there's-
this, everything?
There's nowhere to run.
I mean, you were born with it. You gotta stay or you gotta bounce. So a lot of parents don't stay. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of them do not stay, even if they have born this child and that is your child, and they say, nope, I'm not doing that, and they just leave. Divorce is imminent. Child grows up without one of the parents. And good luck finding a replacement mother or father.
It's a real test of someone's character.
Yeah.
They say you don't know someone until you see him lose a good poker hand or a game of golf,
Mm,
or a child born with issues.
you should not do any of that with me.
Not a good loser, huh?
No, no, I'm not. I'm not a good loser. But I am a pretty good caregiver, I will say. That's right.
Don't hurt yourself.
Well, yeah. So fundraising aspect as a caregiver, it can be, scary.
Don't you have one coming up?
Do
What's it about?
well. A little bit different take on this year. We usually do a 5 or 10K run, or a dinner or something.
Well, if you say 5 or 10K run, but how does that generate income? Talk to me like I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, what do you want to know? You want about this upcoming event, or do you want to know about how I've done it in the past?
Well, no, you're gonna have a 5K run, let's say.
I'm not having a 5K run.
No, I'm saying this is an example.
Oh,
You're gonna have a 5K run,
yes,
and you want to make it a fundraiser. Otherwise,
Yes.
people are just running 5K.
right.
So how do you raise the money?
By the way, that's 3.1 miles, just so you,
Fun fact.
right? 3.1. That's right, because because 10K is 6.2. That's twice.
Look at that.
So putting on an event is very difficult, but is very rewarding. My first thing was I didn't know what I was doing. I was going to put on this race. So people call me in all the time to put up a booth. They give me free space to promote Project Sebastian and to let people know, hey, this is what we're doing. We have resources and education and support groups for the entire community out here. Okay. And so how do you get that message out? Well, they let me have a booth, get a little 10 by 10, spend a little money and get your logos up there, and you pass out leaflets about your organization. Well, when it was my turn to simply say, yeah, I think I want to do this, because these guys are generating between $150,000 to $300,000, but they've been doing it for 10 years. First year you can make 10, 20 grand. So I was like, I can go a long way. Yeah. So what I did was I called the race director of one of the races that he gave me a free booth. I said, I want to do this. Can you help me? And he was like, no, I don't want you to do it. It's just, I don't think you're ready, on and on and on. But then he was like, are you serious? And he came over and he sat down with me at the kitchen table for 3 hours and he laid it out what has to happen.
So he vetted you. He wanted to know you were serious.
Right.
He wanted to know he wasn't wasting his time.
Right.
He wanted to know you were committed.
Yes.
And when you proved that to him,
Yeah.
next thing you know, he's in your house.
But another deal that you should know, hi Sophia, is that guy runs a special needs department at one of the local high schools where they basically prepare your special needs child for the world after high school. He's a really great dude. And so he was my little race angel mentor, Mr. Kevin Sarkisian. See you, bro. Yeah. And so it wasn't that hard after he explained it, because it's overwhelming, but it's not that hard. First, you find a place to have your race. You need 3.1 miles for people to run. And then you simply say, is it easier to put it in a park or on the street? Well, you'd think it might be easier in a street because you can, do the mileage better. Well, that comes with a lot of red tape with the city.
Permits, insurance, liability.
Insurance, yeah, and it can be very expensive. And you now have a deficit already started for hundreds of dollars in permits just to do it. And then you have the city permits, as well as traffic permit, fire permit, and then you have food and handling permits. So you're well into the thousands, right? So find a park where it's enclosed, and then you only have to pay a park fee, which is a permit, fire and safety fee if you have vendors or food trucks, which I don't recommend in the beginning because it can be very expensive. And so my first run at a park, I think I had to pay for the park space, which was for 6 hours from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. at a local park where everybody knew, which is centrally located. And that was $250 refundable security deposit on top of the actual permit for the day.
So that locks up the park, it gives you the space.
But it doesn't matter because people still come. It's not like they see a race and they don't, oh, we can't go to the park. No, there's people that are planning to go to the park that didn't know about your event. They actually participate in your event. It's quite cool because they see all the balloons and the fanfare and the.
But how do you make money with a race?
I'm getting to that. So how do you make money? First of all, you create a runner's website where you join a website in the running world. And we're on Run Sign Up because it's free, and you generate a free race website, and then you put all your stuff in. Okay, now here's where you make the money. How much is each race registrant going to pay? Now the average 5 and 10K race is anywhere between 25 and $150, depending on the event and how many miles you run, right? So it was like, you don't want to price yourself out of the game, but you need to cover costs, right? You haven't even discussed the potential of vendors that are also going to cost money. So we put it at the standard $40-45 per runner, right? And so when you have an open park and you have a 3.1 mile course and it's enclosed and it's safe, you could generate a lot of participants. The problem is getting the race noticed and getting the word out there. So
How do you want to do that for more participants, correct?
Well, sure, that your social media guy needs to really start blowing it up. You need to start prepping that out at least 12 months. It starts 12 months before, because you're going to be sitting on your hands, waiting from the city to give you these permits. And you're going to wait for the insurance guys and then the fire guys, right? It takes months to wait. I don't know why, it just does. So in the meantime, you're creating a packet called a sponsorship packet. And this is where your sales really come in on top of your race registration. Remember, at $45, $45, right? So you sell space. So you have an infield, okay? It's called vendors. And basically you call up these vendors. You say, I would love for you to participate. This is what we're doing. This is who it benefits. Do you want to participate? Yes? Great, I'll send you a sponsorship packet. Usually those 10 by 10 spaces can go anywhere between, depending on who you are, $50 to $500 per space. That's a lot of money. Let's say you have a tremendous amount of space. You could have up to 15, 25 vendors.
And those vendors want to know people are coming because they're there to make money
Right.
too.
They're there to get the product out just like you, but they're willing to pay for that space because it's for a good cause. Now, everybody doesn't know what's going on, but they want to know that they're actually getting something for that space. So you say, I'm promising you, wink, 100 people that are going to race, and they're going to bring their family. And some of them have 2 or 3. So you're going to probably see around 200-300 people through the infield. Now, whether or not that happens depends on weather, depends on whether you get people there, whether people show up, race registration, but that's how you sell it. The other thing is you want a t-shirt sponsor who will cover the cost of your race t-shirt. Now, race t-shirts, if you get like 100 to 200, going to run you about between $500 and $1,000 for a one color print, right? So you want to find someone that's going to be the t-shirt sponsor, and then you put his logo on about 500 t-shirts or less, and he gets something.
That's why NASCARs have all these stickers on them from different sponsors.
Exactly. But wait, there's more. So what else can we sell? Well, I can sell the step and repeat. You know what the step and repeat is?
What is the step in?
The step and repeat is where you go and you take your picture in front of all these great logos, like you see on the red carpet, or you see at these other events. It could be like, you know, the UFC event, where they have those fighters out there, and you see all the logos, like, you know, from all the sports drinks and all the different food companies and stuff like that.
So if someone would pay $10, $20 for a picture,
More.
more?
Yeah.
How much more?
It's not about the picture, it's about getting the logo in front of 200 or 300 people that
Ah.
they may have not seen before. Because not a lot of people are advertising in charity events, especially like Project Sebastian, who's not really big in this game yet. So you simply say, hey, to be on that logo, it's going to be $500 bucks. And they'll say yes or no. And if they say no, there's someone else who willing to be on there. So you could sell 10 or 20 of those because they're small. They just kind of go in these rows, right? Yeah, just like this. So we did an event in Arizona. And you can see that's RJ, Sebastian, and myself. He's the owner of Blue Media. And he was one of the sponsors. You can see Atlas is back there. We had the Phoenix Firefighter Academy sponsoring and stuff like that. So that's a step and repeat, right? We put this back on the wall of
Where it belongs.
the wall of accomplishment. Okay. So each one of those between, you know, $250 and $500. That's some money right there. What else? So we got registration, you got infield, you've got step and repeat. What else do you want?
So also the event you have coming up is climbing stairs at a public park down the street.
Right here. Project Sebastian's Rare Stair Challenge, April 26th, sponsored by Look, K-Hits, the Home and Garden Show, and Feathers Copy. Those are my sponsors.
And let's say someone were to, you know, want to sign up for that. I'm going to pay my registration fee.
Yeah.
And then I'm also going to do what to generate even more income?
Oh, well, this is where it gets really fun. So people can rally themselves and go to different companies and raise money. So I want you to bet on me. I want you to sponsor me. So this is how many, you know, miles you can do in a race. How many steps can you do? And you say, hey, the buy-in is $20 per flight. A flight of steps is up and down, right? So you simply say, would you sponsor me for like, you know, 50 bucks? And they'll say yes. And so that person goes to the next business, to the next business, the next business. By the time the day is done, he could have like 10 or 20 sponsors at 50 bucks a head.
For the same flight of stairs.
For the one person. And then the other person does it. And then on and on and on. And then we reward the highest guy that makes the most sponsorship dollars with a t-shirt. Yeah.
So Project Sebastian wins or whatever, you know, disease that your cause is.
Right.
Everyone wins. The people that show up, the people that the vendors, it's because it's a good cause. It's something very right about it.
Yeah, and people are willing to give 50 to 100 bucks per person per sponsor, and then that money is generated in a big pool at the end of the meet. So you also need a drink sponsor or water, first aid, DJ. Now those things, this is where it gets kind of challenging. Those are the things you ask for donations. You ask them to donate their time or their product to serve a purpose and a need that you have to have per the city guidelines, right?
Right.
So that's another thing. So I usually hit up the local water company, Valencia Water. They've been a great sponsor, and they usually donate, you know, like 500-600 bottles of water, right? So this year they said, no, we're only doing water stations. And I said, I'll do a water station because a water station is just a standard pump where they just pour water in for you out of this pump, which is kind of like a keg. So that's free.
Less waste.
Yeah, less cups, less waste, well, less plastic, more cups. But you know, you get a drink sponsor who donates, I don't know, 250 cans of like an energy drink, but they get their name out there. They get it on the step and repeat, right?
Right.
What else do we need? If you wanted to get somebody to, I don't know, donate a food truck, they would just basically donate their time and their food, or basically use the registration ticket as a free, like say, I don't know, like a free ice cream. And if you buy a bagel, you get a free ice cream. You know what
So
I'm saying?
these vendors are looking for events with people.
Yeah,
That's they just their bread and butter. That's
Right.
what they live on.
right.
But they don't know about it unless you tell them.
That's
So
right. You gotta hit them up.
on your part, you have to do your
Right.
research. You have to make your calls.
And,
And-
and anybody can do it. I'm hitting up yoga places, gyms, t-shirt manufacturers, the UFC, other foundations. Yeah, other foundations want to be a part of your event. Why? To get their name out of it too, you know. So I've had Effie on that step and repeat once upon a gene. Did she pay? No, because we gave her free space because she's promoting the same things, right?
It's the right thing to do.
Same thing with Rare Givers. We gave them free space too. Why? Not because they're my boss, because they're doing the same thing that we're doing. We're promoting advocacy for each other. But you see what I'm saying? But the other stuff, like, you know, Menchie's ice cream, you're paying. You're gonna pay, but you're gonna get your name out of it. You're gonna get 2 more loyal customers for life, which is 10 times the amount of money that they sponsor. Do you know what I'm saying?
And here's the best part.
Tell us.
Anyone can do this. Don't think you can't.
It's hard, but you can do it.
Yeah. And you're not alone.
No.
Here we are. We'll help you however we
Yeah,
can.
Yeah, I get excited about it. I'm excited about this new thing. So this year, Project Sebastian is going to do this
That's next month.
rare stair challenge. Can't get it in there. There you go. Look at that.
Much
So
better.
as you can see,
Hold it closer.
what?
Closer.
Okay.
Closer.
It's starting to okay. So
Okay.
it's at Central Park in Santa Clarita. I love this. I wrote that. Get in shape for a great cause.
And this city park is a beautiful park called Central Park.
Yeah.
And they just last year made these stairs.
Yeah,
And it's
they're a monster.
yeah,
You're never gonna make it. It's too hard.
it's just for going up and down. That's what they're made for. They don't lead anywhere.
But it's so cool at the top is this big American flag where people always take like pictures and stuff.
Quite the view too.
And this year we got the help of Taylor Kellerstrom. If you don't know who Taylor Kellerstrom is, he's a local real estate guy who works at Next Home. He's one of the top agents in the country. He's actually not here tonight. We were gonna have him on, but he's getting an award. But we're doing radio press with him. And we partnered up with the SCB, that's the Santa Clarita Valley, SCB Project Stairs. Now that's on Facebook, right? You see what I'm saying? Guess what I did? I didn't know how to do this. How do you put on a stair event? I called my friend. I said, hey, I see you're on Facebook. What are you doing? Oh, we belong to this group, this community called the SCB Stair Project. Who runs that? This guy named Christian. Oh, great. Called him up and said, hey, what do you think of my idea? And he goes, I love it. I'll have thousands of people there. Well, I better do this. And so he said, I've done many events like this through my charity, through my organization. You just go up and down and you give them something to drink and eat and they're happy. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. That's not really it. You still got to go through the city permits and find sponsors and do the step and repeat and have individual contests and sponsorships. But I don't know what's going to happen.
And then you could sell bumper stickers, buttons. I mean, whatever
Swag.
you want to.
Your old
House plants.
your old foundation swag, your old Project Sebastian shirts, caps, beanies, reminder bands, that kind of stuff. I mean, there's just, and it's not really selling. It's make a donation. You can pick whatever you want.
And people feel good about that.
Yeah, and
It's-
they do.
Yeah.
They do.
You're not just holding your hand out going, I need money. You're actually putting in the effort and energy so that they're not just giving them money, but you're getting them something for it.
But also, you're giving them a workout, right?
Yeah.
And you're giving them something to do. When I was doing the 5 and 10K races, which I'm probably going to do next year, people are looking for personal records. And if you get a chip timing company, that means it's a legitimate race. And that's what people want. They want a personal best. I don't know if there's a personal best in stair climbing, but we're going to find out. So, we got some help. And I just told you the process. And it reminded me that I had to start over. And what did I do? Remember, we talked about me calling Kevin from the race coordinator. I called Taylor and I called his buddy Christian. So again, it's that simple. Hey, I want to do this. I want to raise money for my son's charity, or I want to raise money for this foundation I'm a part of. I'm on the board of this other one. Can you help me? And you know what? They're either going to say yes or no. But these two guys, not only do they say yes, but they're super excited about it. I mean, so here we are. So I got to produce. I got to do my end. I got to sell the sponsors. I gotta pay for the permits. I gotta make people go to the website and register. Registration is $15. Who doesn't have $15? I mean,
Not bad.
yeah, to participate in this really cool event for Project Sebastian, to provide what we continue to provide, educational support groups, resources, and all that stuff that helps other rare disease families. Sometimes financial, sometimes food. Whatever PS can afford, we can do, as well as help Sebastian in his new treatment. So it's on me to make it happen. And I got to tell you, April 26th is happening really fast. And I'm excited to tell you that I already got a main sponsor. Thank you, UFC, again, for coming through. They're the main sponsor again. They have been the main sponsor since we started doing this in California. Remember, I just told you, our first 2 years was in Arizona, right? And so once we came to California, boom, I picked up the phone. I called the number on that website and I said, hey, I have a charity. I would love for you guys to donate to be a part of it. What do you think? I didn't think anything of it.
Not bad for a guy who was a teacher's aide.
A shoddy salesman.
Yeah, a wannabe actor.
Yeah, all that stuff, right? And they called me. They said, show us your website. Show us your 501c3. And then we'll think about it. Well, guess what? Got to meet Dana White. I got to show Sebastian MMA fights.
Picture time. It's picture time. Here's the proof.
Here's the proof. All from a phone call. What's up, Dana? There's my dad, Chucky, and his grandson, Sebby. There's Dana White. Guess where we are? In front of UFC presser, Cormier Mirage 2. You see what I'm saying? That was a few years ago. But there it is. Look, Project Sebastian shirt, Dana White, Chuck Vallona. All from a phone call. Just a phone call.
So don't think you can't do it. And again, you're not alone. You have resources now that you didn't have. We're here for you, whatever we can do. And if you go like on Facebook or any kind of social media, and you'll see fundraisers that are coming up. If this is something you're interested in, take a look at what they're doing, because some offer night runs with glow sticks. There's
Be the light.
Yeah, Be the Light.
That's another great organization that promotes sobriety and addiction counseling. Be the Light. I mean, how could me and Gage ran that with our little light sticks.
And go to some of these fundraisers and find out for yourself what it's like to be on the other end of it, where you're going into it.
Just go and say, who's running this place?
Yeah.
And then guess what? You take all those business cards and you call and say, hey, I'm having an event. You want to come on out? Yeah, there you go. Instant sponsor or instant infield. Okay. We want to have a presence. And if there's people going there from the local community that are in your scope of business, people are going to look at you and say, these guys are legit.
And that'll help you for the next year and the year after. And again, these acquaintances will turn into friends.
Yeah.
And these friends will turn into whatever the next phase is beyond friends, of people that have a deep understanding of each other and what they're going through and are truly there to be helpful. It's amazing. It's when you have a rare disease, your child is a family member, you have to get out of the shallow end of the pool. You have to stay in the deep end now.
You got to tread that water.
Yeah. And you'll find other people there with you.
Yeah.
All your minor pettiness, and it has to go bye-bye, because you have to put the most important priority on top. And it's to make sure you have the money and are able to take care of your family member.
I'm sorry, I'm checking out with this thing. Are you going to come, Steve?
I'll be there.
Cool. See, you got another participant. You gonna pay $15?
I'll be there.
See, I just made money. So it's really, I would have to say, if you can follow instructions for Legos, you can put on a race. It's just overwhelming. Why? Because there's like 6,000 pieces that you have to put it all together, one page at a time. You remember you flip through the pages of Legos? It's the same thing. Same thing with a race. One page at a time. For the city, insurance, sponsors, participants, website. That's why you need a year. You trust me when you need a year. My first time out, I did it in like 120 days and I still made money, but I was scrambling because I didn't know.
Now, did you find your mentors or did they find you?
I found them.
Remember that.
And we're good friends today.
The image in the mirror will never smile first. You have to do the work.
So listen, we've run out of time for this show. You can always hit the replay button. You can always call us. My phone is always on 661-414-4856. That's Project Sebastian hotline. I can't give you his number because that's an FCC violation.
It's a 900 number and it's too expensive. You wouldn't want it.
Steve's got a job. But if you have any questions or anything, you can always.
We're here to help.
Reach out to us on Gmail at men@raregivers.global. That's all your questions. So until that next time, I'm Chris Filona,
I'm secondhand Steve,
and this has been.
a man's journey.
Ah, you got it this time.
I did it. Hey, be gentle with yourself.
That's right. And we'll see you next Monday.